It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey, guys. Welcome back. And this is interesting. Normally, Jason and I don't do a late live, but in honor of Portia's Family Matters and doing this premiere tonight in place of Salt Lake City, we thought, why not? So, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed, as this is a subscribers-only live chat. And let's welcome Jason from Down with Jason.
Hi. Oh, this is so weird. I haven't done a late live since Tuesday. I feel like you're going to get used to these.
I know. I like late lives, actually. Well, normally I feel like I'm trying to get in bed early, and this morning we woke up really early. But for some reason, I think it's because we weren't working for a couple days. I have the energy.
Yeah. No, totally.
All right.
I always die when I do Anchor Watch.
Do you?
The conversation just goes so late, and then the next day it's hard to catch up.
Yeah,
But
I feel like
it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. All right. So with that, guys, I want you to go ahead. If you watched Portia's Family Matters tonight, I want you to go ahead and comment in the live chat and rate the episode a 1 to 10, because Jason had a lot of, or I don't know. And I was watching it. There's a lot going on, though. I think it's like you can't write it off the first episode, right? Because it's our introduction episode.
It's not that I'm writing it off. Okay. It was charming. I don't really, the situation and the story, I don't think I'm invested in it. And I don't think I'm that invested in Porsha, to be honest with you. I know the comments might kill me, but I think this is going to be a one and done for me. I'll let you watch this.
See, I don't agree with that, though, because again, I think this is an introduction episode. We're getting a lot of drama. We're hearing about all the exes. We're hearing about Fallon, Pina, Cordell, Dennis. I mean, Dennis is actually showing up. He's speaking out of the left side of his face when he's like, she still loves me. I don't know why she's with this guy. I'm like, the guy's going to watch this, right? So there's a lot that's going into this dynamic.
I mean, the editing was shady as hell when Dennis showed up.
Oh my god.
The music was playing. It was like Simon was rolling up in his car, and then they get out and the music just kind of dwindles and goes. And I was like, oh my god. But I guess, Porsha has some say in how this is going to be edited.
Wow, look at the ratings. A 5, a 3, a 4, a 4. And I can write it off. Up and Adam, even the trailer sucks. 2, too many lies. Woo! 2.
I don't know if you're going to win on this one. I just, even when there's potential in a show, and maybe I might be eating crow in like a month. I have no idea. But even if it's something as boring as, like, let's say when Salt Lake got started or things like that, the fact that it can't be just called, why is it not just called Portia's Family Matters by itself? It has to be The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I almost feel like Bravo threw that in. Real Housewives of Atlanta, Portia's Family Matters, just to have the Atlanta name in there too. Because maybe they were worried about it.
I don't know if you remember this, though. Our first episode of Vanderpump Rules ever is on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, like episode whatever, Vanderpump Rules, and it's a segue.
But then it's not called The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Vanderpump Rules.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, just my opinion. I don't know.
The lies made it a 5 for me. Definitely not invested in Simon, which I do want to bring up Simon because this dynamic is very interesting to me. Simon obviously is this older man who seems very set in his ways. His background is interesting to me because his grandfather was married to 25 different women at the same time, and his father was married to 2 different women at the same time. And the way that he's talking about women, saying like, it's very normal for someone where I come from to have a wife and a side bitch. I'm like, that's how we're referring to it?
And then the wife and the side bitch get together to make sure there's not going to be another side bitch, is what he explained. And I was like, but then also there was the moment when they were sitting and dining together where Simon said, yeah, I've cheated, a lot in my past relationships. And he then said that he didn't cheat in his past relationship, which I guess was referring to Fallon.
Right.
But then on Watch What Happens Live, just now before we came on here, Porsha said, I've cheated too. So I guess...
But you know what this feels like to me? This almost feels like, say you start dating someone new and people come to you with red flags and you're like, listen, I know that it's like what Cynthia Bailey did for Mike Hill, right? Like, I know he cheated in the past. He wrote a whole book about his infidelities, but he's a changed man. I know he's changed now. And it's almost that I want to fix a guy kind of situation. That's how it comes off to me. And mind you, he might actually be a great guy at this point. We don't know him, right? But when you say 4 marriages or wife number 4, it is going to be a red flag for anyone whose family is this close.
Of course, and it looks like we get to see that later in the season. I think, though, for me, it's the timeline is weird. It's like, okay, broke up in July of 2020. Dennis and her were kind of, I don't know, something at Christmas where he bought her a present. I don't know what he was talking about. And then literally before the next year, she was engaged, and like now we're here. It's quick.
Right.
It's I don't know.
And I think that's the timeline too. That, and Porsha said on the TV, you guys make it look this big, but it was December to March, or March, April, May. I think it was even in March, because I did the interview at the end of May. No. And maybe it was May. It was May, but that's still not that long of time. I feel like we just did Christmas yesterday, and here we are again. Boom. I couldn't imagine you and I going through a split, and then all of a sudden, 6 months later, you finding out on social media, hey, Adam's engaged. What?
Yeah, that was in 7 months. So 7 months ago, we're December. So we're talking what? May, April?
Yeah, which is, I mean, the timeline does feel off, especially when we're going through and they're asking her about the timeline. And she's like, listen, I asked Dennis for my ring back in December. And then, in May, I got engaged again. But then that's not the only thing that sounds off. It's the way that they're talking about who slid into whose DMs. Now, Porsha was the one who kicked off this conversation, and she's like, well, he slid into my DMs after he decided to leave Fallon. And when he's doing his confessional, he's like, no, wait a minute. She slid into my DMs, and I thought it was very thoughtful that she was checking up on me. Why would she? Yeah, this whole thing, that doesn't make sense to me. Why is she checking up on why? Okay, so Fallon gets introduced as a friend on the show, but not just anyone's friend, Porsha's friend. And you're checking up on Simon?
Interesting.
Doesn't that throw you off a little bit, though?
The whole situation throws me off, but I feel like we went through this whole thing already. So now what has to be interesting is we're going to get through the timeline and everything. I think that's what this episode was for. And then we're going to start to move on to other things. But I'm just wondering, do we care as viewers to, I mean, I'm speaking for myself here, but do I care to watch any more of Porsha and Simon? Not really. I don't know, because I feel like it's so redundant, that whole conversation of the timeline and how Simon and her got together. But it seems like Dennis wants to fight for her.
Yeah.
This season, I don't know. I don't know.
No, I get that too. And it does look like Dennis is trying to fight for his family and right now give Porsha the space, because it also, the analogy reminds me of like a parent. Now, it's like, since we just watched the Potomac reunion, Candace's mom has to allow Candace to have the space to figure out whether or not her marriage is a good situation for her. But if Mama Dorothy keeps pushing on her, then she's just going to push Mama Dorothy away. And I think Dennis understands the same thing. He's like, wait a minute. And the way he's even talking about her, he's like, listen, Porsha takes off fast and she gets really into it. And then boom, next thing you know, we're getting married, we're house shopping, we're doing all of these things. And then if it doesn't work out, she crashes even harder.
And it's just even awkward, really quickly before I make that point. But Gloria says Tisa has receipts that they've been creeping since September. So tomorrow when you're on the live with Tisa, Layla Lynn, and Grace Report, I need you to ask that question.
Yes, I'll definitely ask. By the way, this is going to be my first time meeting Tisa, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I know you've always collabed with Grace, and then Grace and Layla, and then this will be fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, this will be fun. Okay, so speaking of which, now we see them house shopping. We see that they pass Simon and Fallon's former house in Buckhead, and they're looking at these new houses, but it kind of came off with talking about the Rolls Royces at first and the houses. Like, we already know Porsha has money, but it feels like she's trying, or they're trying to flaunt Simon's level of money in our faces to make him more appealing. But then when Simon starts talking on the show and we get like these little glimpses of him and the way that he communicates with Porsha, there's something that just like, I was even reading Twitter while I was watching the show and people are like, it's strange to watch him, which is not a bad thing, because I say the same thing about like Robin or Teddy or people who I don't love necessarily watching on reality TV. I think Dennis is more reality TV gold because he's so open, as opposed to Simon, who's just sitting back and like he wants to play the cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I get.
I agree. And also it's just, I feel, I mean, this is going to sound crazy too, but because this is what Porsha does, is she moves very fast. And just when they're sitting in the house talking about the Gobadia house, and it needs to be like the house in Costa Rica and like the Gobadia house. I'm like, I hope this list one lasts because I'm not sure.
Yeah, no. And, it seems like too, he's used to, which is this part is interesting to me too. She's talking about Cordell, and we get these flashbacks of Cordell telling her what she can and can't do. She was obviously in a very controlling marriage. And there's a difference between someone being very controlling as opposed to somebody just being like, I'm the man, I'm going to do what I want. Don't tell me what to do, but I'm also not going to tell you what to do. And she's trying to explain to him, I'm not Fallon. I am more of a public figure. I have more viewership. I have more fans. I'm on a very public show, a very public platform. You can't just post anything you want because it's not you who's going to get the backlash. It's me. And then when they pan over to him in the confessional, he said, I don't give about social media. I'll say whatever I want. And I'm thinking, that's not the way to go around it.
Yeah, but then he was responding to a lot of things that were happening. I mean, I don't know if necessarily you can take that away from him. I don't know how I feel about that.
No, I mean, the whole thing is just strange anyways. But Janice said Simon's net worth is $40 million. James Crosby, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Marjorie said Simon is far from appealing. Jason, I agree. I don't see them lasting. Simon is lying through his teeth. I've only heard of African chiefs with that many wives. My Nigerian son-in-law's dad had 4, and he was a chief. Simon has never said he was royalty. LOL. You know what? I also find this interesting too, is that there's such a disconnect with the stories. Like everyone, and I wasn't really thinking about it when I was watching the show, but everyone in the comments right now are like, lies. I'm giving it a low rating because of lies. What are the lies? Is it the timeline? Is it what Simon's saying about his family? Like,
what it is too, though, is when Porsha or Simon are confronted with a question, it seems like they divert into a whole like roundabout way of answering the question. That's just what I got. And we see that her family has found out different ways about Simon and her getting together. I don't know who it was, found out through Twitter in her family. So she has a lot of explaining to do about the timeline, but I don't know.
Yeah.
They really just deflect a lot.
But one part that I like about this show that we don't get on a lot of the housewife shows is the big family dynamic. This is a huge family. Porsha's introducing us to her cousin Londi. We've met her sister Lauren on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And it's nice to see these different dynamics and a behind the scenes to Porsha if you're interested. Like for me, I feel like we've seen her evolve on the show. And Kim Peyer said earlier, and devolve as well. Like, is that a word, devolve?
I don't know.
I think it's a word, guys. I think devolve is a word, but
You've made it so many words, so I don't know.
He said that we've seen her devolve as well, but I like seeing what goes into it because Porsha's not just Porsha without her mom and her sister, and there's a whole team backing her up that we don't get to see behind the scenes. A lot of these housewives have teams now. They have assistants. They have people who are constantly helping them with their day-to-day, and I like seeing what's going on behind the scenes. It's almost like what I wish we could see on the Kardashians. No.
You know who I actually like? I do like Londi. You see her in the future. She has a lot to say, and I think we're going to see more come from her. I can't even tell you. Like, it was nice to watch, and I feel like maybe we got a little bit of what they wanted us to hear and kind of answers to questions, maybe a little bit. Maybe there's more of that coming. And I don't want to be a pessimist here because you guys have to watch it if you haven't checked it out and decide for yourself, but I'm just not invested. I just, there's so many, I don't know. This is just not hitting for me. But you know what? Maybe I'm going to give it another week.
Yeah, I think you should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
JMM55 said, Simon went from saying he was worth 40 million to 400 million recently. What is it? He's not on the Forbes list. I looked. Okay.
Yeah, I think he would be, right?
Blissfully Bree said it just comes off inauthentic. She's spinning narratives to save face and is obviously desperate. Oh, Elaine, devolve is a word. Thank you. Joe Mendoza, question. I'm confused. Why did Porsha reach out to Simon about the divorce and not Fallon? I don't remember Fallon and Porsha having a falling out in the past season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Neither do I.
That's my thing too. I didn't understand. So now this makes no sense to me. There was no relationship with Simon. She bumped arms with him when she first introduced him. That's how they met. She met with Fallon at, in different settings. Not a whole lot, but on the show, we also don't know what was edited out. So they've met at least 3, 4, 5 times. I don't know how many times she's met Simon. So it doesn't really add up to me why you would be checking in on Simon as opposed to checking in on Fallon, who you're portraying on the show as your friend.
Yeah, no, it's almost like there was a plan, or that they were already talking in some sort. I don't know.
Tisa tells that's why I do want to ask her about this, because she might be onto something. If they're saying that she has receipts from back in September.
Yes. September. So I would need to know about that. I'm sure it's up on her YouTube, but you have to ask her tomorrow during your live.
Which is so funny to me because I did that interview with Fallon in October when she was talking about how amazing everything was and how life is so great and she's just very happy.
October?
That was in October that I did that interview.
No.
And then I did the second sit-down interview. Yeah. I did the first one in October.
Her first one. I thought her first was in February for some reason.
No. It was in October. Okay. Solange said, I love you guys so much. And Jason, you're an amazing storyteller, but this episode was not it for me. Gloria, Simon and Portia were already seeing each other when that episode aired. Yeah, they were already talking. And Fallon's daughter was born today. So she was pregnant when she interviewed with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we've talked about that before. When Adam accepted to do the interview, we set a whole point of questions. Fallon didn't even get to see the questions. That was part of why we did the interview, or why Adam did the interview. But your job is only to ask certain questions, and that just wasn't something that we asked. And it was only like later when I think that dropped anyway.
Well, it dropped
when you guys
after
did the interview. It did drop off after you technically did the interview, but didn't it drop before the interview? I forgot.
So it dropped once the interview trailer came out in the Shade Room and everyone picked up on it. It went crazy. And then all of a sudden, Simon posted on social media talking about, okay, well, if she's going to say this, then she needs to address Jalen. She needs to address that she's pregnant with, his baby, and wrote all of these things. And she's like, this is all BS and he's just deflecting. But then now to find out she was at least 2-3 months pregnant, obviously at the time. It's not even because we're in November, so she had to have been at least 2-3 months pregnant, which means she maybe knew. I'm going to go with she probably knew because she's had babies before, so I'm sure she knows her body and what that's like. And I guess that was not up for topic. It wasn't one of the topics that was up for conversation.
It wasn't in the questions that you asked, and that wasn't.
And I didn't even know. I didn't even think to ask it because why would I be talking to this woman who's crying about her husband leaving her and saying, I just want him to be happy. And if that means with being with her, I'm not looking at this woman like, oh, you look completely broken down. You must be pregnant with your former assistant's baby. Like what?
And by the way, I'm pregnant with my assistant's baby. What? Yeah. What the hell? I feel like I don't know if there was something that already kind of transpired before. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if maybe Fallon knew that, earlier on that Simon and Porsha were kind of talking, and at the same time she was seeing Jalen. If Simon has such an open mind about like side bitches and stuff, then maybe he was okay with like, hey, we're going to separate this somehow. But I don't know. It feels like everyone kind of told half truths and everything. And now everyone is trying to save face.
Like they're all trying to cover their asses so nobody looks like they're wrong. Because if you look at it, and I get what they're saying on the show. They're like, the optics look off. Like, you guys have to just let time play out and you'll eventually understand. And I understand that the optics look off. But it's not just Porsha and Simon that the optics look off. It really is. It's everyone who's throwing that. It's everyone,
because it's those half-truths that we were just talking about. But I'm just wondering how much, again, like, because I see people in the chat. I know some people like it and some people are big Porsha fans. I like Porsha. I think she's great television. I don't know if her and her family are great television. That's yet to be seen. I feel like we're still talking about something that we've moved on to other things. So right. I don't know. I don't know.
And that's one of the reasons why I think it's annoying that Jersey is coming out 6-8 months later, because that's something we talk about. But Cindy Thomas, watched you all earlier and missed the chance to send some love. Agree with Jason. Not sure I'm invested enough to keep watching. Thank you, Cindy. And also, hold on. Where was this one? I want to get to that real quick. DB said, LOL, so you knew. It's okay if you did. The timeline didn't add up anyways. I 100% did not know shit.
No.
Just to be fair. Nothing. Zip, zilch. I did not look at this woman. She came in. I mean, I looked at her, but I didn't look at her. When she walked in, she looked like $1 million, a supermodel. Legitimately. You saw her in the interview. There was not one inkling of, oh, you must be pregnant. And again, this allegation, which came out to be true, did not come out until after the trailer dropped. So no, I did not know. But true. I am curious to see the. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about something, but
what?
No, it's just when she asked you to do the interview. Okay, we said under one condition, we just want to make sure that we write up the questions and we really don't want you to see them. Of course, anything can be edited. She was very responsive and truthful to what we thought she was truthful to.
Well, I mean, I didn't ask her, so she was truthful to everything.
You didn't ask her, but then at the same time, she's only going to want to share, and that's okay because you were just doing your job as the interviewer, asking questions. It didn't, I don't know. It's strange.
To be fair, though, if I were in Fallon's shoes, I don't think I would choose. One, I wouldn't have done an interview, but I'm very thankful she did. Two, I wouldn't, which I can't say that because I told her that she should do the interview to take control of the narrative. But I also wouldn't use that.
That's great advice, though.
Yeah, well, and I told her, I said, if you do an interview, because she was offered to do an interview with Wendy Williams, and she was offered a couple other platforms, and she knew that people would tear into the situation. So I think that she felt like, listen, this guy, I've done an interview with him before. I'm comfortable. He's a nice guy, and he's not going to completely rip me apart, which is playing it safe. Also, I appreciate it, but had I have known what I know now, I definitely would have had very different questions. Elaine Hargate, a lot of times women are told from doctors not to announce anything until 12 weeks. Okay. Fallon kept her mouth shut until that divorce was final, as she should have. All right. An optician couldn't make these optics better. Okay. And then also Discerning said, Adam, I'm a new subscriber. You did an excellent interview. I've been married 24 years. I don't condone relationships with others if you are still married. Wait for the divorce. You know, I mean, to each first of all, thank you for the super chat, but to each their own. You know, I can't say I've seen it before in my family. We have friends who have done it. If the other person is legitimately parting ways, like Simon and Fallon knew that they were, and they're both, she just had a baby. Congratulations to Fallon. She has a beautiful little baby girl, and Simon's happily engaged. Then I'm trying to understand it better because it's not like he cheated. From what we know, unless Tisa tells him her receipts are right, it's not like he was going home to his wife and then had Porsche as a side piece.
When you get on there before you start tomorrow, I'll be in the chat.
I'm asking that.
I'm sending out, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
She's probably already released that, but yeah, no, I know.
Guys, 200 in the room. Go ahead, smash that like button. Also,
what was another strange thing? Do you think it's weird that Dennis is hitting up Lauren?
Yeah, I feel like the dynamic is, at first I thought it was weird with the way that Londi, which is Portia's cousin, we meet her tonight. By the way, I think she's great, especially for TV. I think
she's going to be great for the show.
And she just keeps it real. You could tell she's like, I don't give a shit about these cameras. It's nice to see that because some people get very awkward around cameras and she doesn't come off that way. But when she tells Portia that Dennis is reaching out to Lauren and we see Portia's face like, what? And then we see them sit down and he says, I look at her like a sister. I changed my tone because at first I was like, what? But then when I saw, oh, he's speaking with Lauren to get the details on what Portia's up to, because that's his inside to knowing what's going on around the house with his daughter.
It's also another line of communication for Dennis to get through to Portia. I mean, this is just...
I think Dennis wants Portia back, and I think that he's extremely jealous, which, by the way, her saying that he can't bring a date was a little bullshit.
Yeah, come on. He's giving you a bus for your party. Wait, now...
I mean, that was a janky bus, though. The light fell out of it. The light fell out of it.
I was going to ask, what is he worth? Do we know what Dennis is worth?
Guys, if you know in the chat what Dennis is worth, yeah, somebody's going to know right off the... I mean, we could Google it, but will somebody Google what Dennis is worth and just throw that down really quick?
Chat is always awesome at this.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, always.
But when Londi said that, at first I was taken aback, but when I saw the conversation, I agree. I think it's a lifeline into Porsha's world. I don't think it's anything weird. I don't think that he likes Lauren. I was reading some comments on Twitter like, ooh, Lauren's trying to get Porsha's man. That's going to be awkward. No, I don't see that.
No, I didn't see it either once, like what you said, that was, yeah.
And also Dennis is stirring the pot. When he posted on her photos, on her birthday photos, which by the way, she looked great. When he posted on the photos, I forgot you were engaged, which he obviously knows that she's engaged, because why would you even say that? That was shady as hell. And when Simon went back and said #mine, people are questioning even Londi, which is, again, she's Porsha's cousin. She's like, I'm not really used to men being this active on social media. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but it does look like he likes the attention. And that was something that Fallon pointed out in the interview, because she said she did not want to do the show. Producers knocked on her door for 2-3 years before that. But then she finally decided to do the show because Simon talked her into doing it and said it would be great for her and them. But now he's with Porsha, which he knows if he's with Porsha, he's going to be on TV. So maybe he does like the attention, because he likes a few other things I wouldn't picture in his age range, like partying at the club with a Cuban cigar and just sitting there taking shots of 1942. Like, he was in it.
No, 100%. So Dennis is worth $10 million. So he's gonna have to open a lot more hot dog stands to. I feel like Porsha likes someone, but she also likes their bank account. Am I wrong?
I mean, I think that could be. Karen just said it on Potomac tonight when Nicki Minaj asked. She said, if you had $100 million in the bank, would you still be with your man? And she looked at Ashley Darby like she was crazy. But Karen said, yes, I would still be with him. Would I have ever gotten with someone broke? No, absolutely not. And some people find different things attractive. Like, some people go for looks, some go for personality. Some say money's not everything. But my dad always said, whoever said money's not everything is a broke mother. Which my whole family, including myself, like, we work. I don't have a person in my family that's rich, Well, so.
Yeah, no. Okay. You know what else kind of struck me during this episode, during this like big Porsha thing, is when they do flashbacks. Because when you look at Housewives, and like today I brought up, I don't know what live, because we've been live almost all day, but I brought up a photo, when we were with Kempire and Femtero, and I brought up a photo of the original OC cast, and because I just didn't realize it's been 16. We're going on season 16 of this. So I was looking at an old photo. I'm like, holy shit. But when they flash back to Porsha, when she was buying her first house, I like double took. I'm like, who the hell is that? Because all these housewives have gone through so much glow up since like they first started. And I almost didn't recognize Porsha from however many years it's been, 8 or something like that.
That's also like the comparison. And I know I keep flip-flopping, but it was like Potomac when Nikki calls out Giselle and she's like, you don't feel like your face has changed? I'm like,
even they went back with, in the reunion too, to Karen, and you see, she's had an amazing glow up. I mean, there's been lots of glow ups, but I almost feel like Porsha has become like a whole different person, because when they flash back, was like, who is that little girl?
Yeah, she's grown up.
Girl, yeah, that's crazy.
She's grown up, and she's definitely curvier now. She embraces her curves. She's like she looks different.
She looks great both ways.
Stunning.
I had to like double take, because I thought that there were two Laurens standing there for a second.
She did look like Lauren.
100%. They were.
I didn't even think about that.
Now I don't know if I would. Yeah, you can see the resemblance now, actually.
Yeah, you can see it. From back then when she was 32, not when she was 40, because that was 8 years ago. But okay, I thought it was also interesting that when Dennis was having this conversation with Lauren. If you guys didn't see it, by the way, 250 in the room, smash that like button. But when he's having this conversation with Lauren, he says, this is probably going to go down in history as her being one of the biggest man stealers of the century. It doesn't look good. And Lauren goes, I know it doesn't look good. I'm thinking, your sister's going to be so pissed that you
don't tell your sister that. Because your sister thinks it looks great.
And Lauren's demeanor too kind of strikes me, because she even said when she showed up to the club with Londi, and she's setting up this whole Porsha world in the club, she said, I'm very awkward around Simon. I don't really want to be around him one-on-one. I don't know him like that. I'm used to being around him with Porsha and around him with the family, but I'm not used to just being around him. So it's weird.
But then she also says, I don't know him very well, but neither does she. She did say that. She did say that. That struck me, because I was like, she didn't know what? Because she's she knows what house she's going to buy. I know she knows enough about him to know that she wants a different house, a big house, the one like the Costa Rican mansion he has. So I don't know. It's very sus, just to say the least.
And also, if he's worth 20 or 40 million, I think we said 40, or now someone's claiming that he said he's worth 400 million. You can absolutely buy that house in Georgia. Just saying. Georgia prices can be expensive, but that Costa Rican mansion, $40 million. You could buy that house in Palm Beach, Florida. You can buy that house in Miami for $40 million.
Yeah, Porsche can buy her own house.
And Porsche can buy her own house. That was another interesting point before we start rounding out. Porsche deciding that, we've always seen her on the show and with Dennis, and she always said, I'm not leaving my house. I was put out on the street, and we just watched this on Selling Sunset with Chriselle. I was put out on the street. This is my house, my mortgage. I'm never going to be in a position where a man is going to take the roof off of my head again, right? But for some reason with Simon, it's different. She's like, okay, I get it. You're moving out of your big, beautiful mansion in Buckhead. I'll move out of my house. Let's get a house together. But when it came to Dennis, she's like, no, sir, I'm not moving in shit with you. I think the money talks.
I think the money talks, but also we haven't seen enough, right? This is the first episode. I mean, all the answers to the questions I have, I'm not invested. And that's just me. So I'm sorry. Like, you guys got to check out the show if you haven't already, that's something that interests you. But maybe Simon treats her differently than anyone else has. And I think she even mentioned that. Cordell, she's used to Cordell. She's used to Dennis. And she's been through all of these relationships. And maybe he does treat her the way she's always wanted to be treated. And that also will go far. Maybe not as far as the bank account would go, but she's got her own money.
I mean, listen, if he's treating her like a queen and he's got the bank account, I feel like he's speaking Porsha's love language. Let me do what I want. Don't try to control me. No, I'm a public figure. Show up with the 5 Rolls Royces. Treat me like a queen.
Yes.
I think she's
gifts
good.
And words of affirmation.
Yes. Okay, Gloria said, up and Adam, that house in Costa Rica is on Airbnb. Again, Tisa's got the receipts. Tisa tells, I cannot wait to pick her brain tomorrow.
Woo, I can't wait.
Coming in with all the receipts.
Now, I've seen people in the live chat. I just wanted to know really quick if you guys are going to check it out. If you've watched tonight's episode, if you're going to give it another episode, or if you're Adam, you're going to watch the whole thing, or if you're me, you're going to bow out. Because I'm going to bow out. It might get interesting. I might watch.
No, you're giving it one more episode.
No, I don't know.
Jason, you're giving it another episode. You have no choice. You live in the same house with me.
I'm so ready for Orange County, Miami. I got some other stuff to watch. So I don't know if this is going to catch my attention.
By the way, I know this is a sidebar. They just said TV Deets got the premiere of Orange County and said it's the Heather Dubrow show.
Oh, I bet it is. I mean, they gave her everything she wanted to come back. So
I'm not I wouldn't be surprised, right?
Yeah.
So,
and that might be a good thing, and it might be a bad thing, and that's yet to be seen. So,
right. But you were about to say, but.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, okay. Natasha said, I'm not watching. Janelle said, I will watch the show for one more episode. Oh, Janelle, we're going to have to pick your brain tomorrow.
Okay, Janelle, I don't know. Maybe you can convince me, so we'll see. I don't know. Yes.
She's going to, Janelle's going to do the tongue pop and say, listen. She probably just did it when I said that. Okay. I watched tonight, but I'm not sure if I'll watch another. Jason's bowing out. I'm out. We got to see who Philly was fighting in the trailer, LOL. Or who P. Willie. Who's P? Okay. Who was P. Willie fighting in the trailer?
I don't know.
All right. Did your camera go off? Oh, Jason's rounding up the cats. All right, guys, 275 in the room. Go ahead, smash that like button. I do want to ask, by the way, reality TV with Bad and Bougie KM. Hello. Hi, Rosemary. Hi, everyone. Bad and Bougie, you haven't gotten it yet, but you have to let me know about Porsha's Family Matters. We'll also ask you guys for a brief. We'll keep it super short tomorrow in the hot, messy topics and keep it to like 3 minutes because they do want to hear people's insight.
I actually want to know. I'm actually more excited to know who wants to, or who's invested in this and who isn't. So that'll be a fun little topic. I'm sure that will last longer than 5 minutes.
And I keep on waiting, and this just might be me hopeful only because, listen, nothing against Fallon. Love you, Fallon. I'm so happy for you and your beautiful baby and Jalen. But I would love if that interview came up on this show. Then you definitely got my attention. If the Fallon interview comes up if it comes up on Watch What Happens Live or whatever, listen, at this point, it's already come up on Wendy Williams. So can die a happy man. But I would love if it came up on the show. I just feel like since Porsha, it is her name on the title of the show, there is no fucking way she's going to give any more attention than the producers and the editors.
That's what I'm thinking too. I just don't think it will come up because it needs to stay on their narrative. It has to be what they want to put out there. And I feel like I said, I feel like the first episode was to kind of like wrap up this timeline really quick so we can get into other things. And then we forget about that. I mean, they have to do that because we can't spend the whole season talking about this thing, so.
I'm so interested to see what the ratings are going to come back, especially with all of these people saying just one more episode for me. Who was she fighting in the trailer? I don't know who was fighting in the trailer.
I thought it was it not Dennis and Simon for some reason?
No, because Simon was holding Porsha back and she was crying and everybody was like freaking out. I mean, if it was Dennis and Simon, that would be the least shocking to me, unless I saw the way that the one cousin spoke to Londi, and Londi was like, if you talk out of your mouth, I'm going to whoop that ass. And I was like, wait a minute, don't mess with Londi. So I don't know. It could be Londi, could be Dennis and Simon. And I don't know what the other person's name is. So we haven't met her yet. All right.
Well, I feel like when you saw Simon a little later, he's like, he needs to stay out of our business.
Dennis's
trailer.
Dennis's mom was attacked by Porsha. What?
What in the hell? Still not enough for me to watch, but okay.
Simon didn't help Fallon when 9 women jumped her at the club. POS. I just heard this today. I just heard about this, a bunch of women jumping Fallon in the club. And I want to know when they're talking about, because she just gave birth this weekend. Like, she just gave birth. So when would this have happened that somebody would have jumped her in the club? And if they jumped her in the club when Porsha and Simon got engaged, then she would have been pregnant then. I want to know when this happened. All right. Marjorie said, what is it about Simon that he has to hold back his women from fighting? I don't know. Oh, that's old news, Amanda Jones. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, she's just had a baby. Nobody's beating her up. And if they are, they're going to prison. Okay. All right. Well, with that, guys, we're almost at 40 minutes and we have almost 300 people in the room. Go ahead, smash that like button. We're going to keep it a little bit short and simple tonight because we've been back all day busting out videos after our long, amazing weekend away. So
much fun. But tomorrow morning at 11:15, we are recapping the Real Housewives of Potomac finale on Down with Jason at 11:15. So be sure to join us if you're there.
Did you just plug your shit on my show?
It's your shit too.
Oh, okay.
You're going to be there. Featuring Up and Adam. Pecan. Brittle Yummy said, no, Dennis' mom was not attacked by Porsha. I don't think that Dennis's mom was attacked by Porsha either. I couldn't see that. Also, Sharice Brown said that happened during their engagement. Then Fallon broke up with Simon. Then they married 3 months later. Oh, okay. And okay, nobody cares about Fallon. All right. No,
great.
Not anymore.
Listen, it was a moment.
I don't want to say it. I don't know if anybody cares about the show either.
Okay. It was a moment. It was a moment. Thank you, guys. You've been really busy. Oh, thank you. Rosemary, remember to hit that like button. All right, guys, catch us tomorrow at 11:15 a.m. Eastern, which is 8:15 a.m. Pacific. We'll be going on Jason's channel, Down with Jason, to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 6 Reunion Part 4, which was great. It was much better than this.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That was good. It was fun. It felt fast. Yeah, I'm excited to recap that. And to everyone, also, happy holidays and happy Hanukkah tomorrow for anyone celebrating.
Oh, look at this. We all care about Fallon. Oh, that was nice. I care, LOL. The show was trash. Wow. Jesus. Okay. Joe Mendoza, happy to see both of you guys in brighter spirits after that not so productive Thanksgiving weekend. Have great sleep, y'all, and good night. Good night, everybody. All right, don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you to all of our super chats, super stickers, and our mods. We appreciate you. After our 11:15 a.m. live for Potomac tomorrow, we are going on at 12:30 on Tisa Tells with Tisa, Grace Report, and Layla Lynn. I can't wait for this conversation, especially because I wasn't so aware of all these receipts, so I have a lot of asking to do when it comes to Tisa. I can't wait to meet her, and I hope you guys join us, and I will be posting that in my community tab. I hope you guys have a great night. It's 11 p.m. here on the East Coast, so good night, sweet dreams, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Good night.